Hi, everybody. Welcome back to a special edition of SecurityGuideTV.com. My next guest, it's Miss Deepti Hemwani. She's the head of product for Decera. Miss Deepti, welcome to the show.
Hi, Chuck. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm really excited to speak to you today. We're going to talk about disrupting data security. And without disruption, there's no movement. Okay, so my first question, it's the obvious one. How is Decera disrupting data security?
Well, as you know, the data collection has grown tremendously over the last 2 years. It's been the highest that it's been over the entire lifetime, right? And what's happened just in 2020, you'll see the numbers of like 68 zettabytes of data being collected. Trust me, I didn't even know the Zetabyte term till I entered the data space. So what's happening is because of this growth, the security of the data is become of like critical importance for our customers. We're living in these exciting terms, which a lot of the experts are actually calling the data revolution. And every company is trying to put their foot forward to protect this customers, consumers' data, right? But none of them we've seen has been successful in doing that. And it's in protecting and this customer's data and basically crippling the breaches, right? What we call the data breaches. So it's no surprise that this number of breaches, the number of data breaches has, it is a huge number of them. It's been like 4,000 in the last just 2020 here. And, you want to even guess what the cost of each of these breaches are?
No, I don't, because I don't even know what a Zetabyte is. I was happy when I had an iOmega 1 gigabyte drive back in 2000. That was a big deal.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, each of these data breaches are actually very expensive. It is, each of them at an average is costing about $5 million for our consumers. And if you notice, these breaches just don't affect like the company. It also it's the individual whose data gets breached, as well as the organization and the company whose brand is now at stake and the reputation is at stake because of the data breach. So it's clear, like something needs to change. The way data security is done needs to change. This is where Decera comes in, right? Decera basically helps companies secure the data between access control and DLP, right? This is the black box, so to speak. So when data is created, right from where data is created to when it can be archived or deleted. And this is what makes Decera unique, because no other company out there is securing this data throughout its lifecycle journey.
Deepti, I find this whole thing about data and how much data we have fascinating. And I remember something I read in 2014 that the entire capacity of the internet had reached the capacity of one human brain, only one. So we have a lot of ways to go on this, and this problem is nowhere even close to being solved. So let's talk about what's wrong with traditional products like next generation access control and DLP, data loss prevention. Let's kind of flush that out so people understand why this is so important.
The traditional products like the access control and DLP that we talked about are more perimeter focused. They look at the data and they look at the perimeter. But what they lose line of sight is how this data is actually being used within the environment, right? And we all know data is not static. As soon as data gets created, it is transformed, it is copied, it is used for analysis. So there is a big sprawl of data within the organization, or what we talked about within that black box earlier, right? And these processes come much later into the cycle, so they lose a lot. They basically have leave a lot of gaps and also significant operational overhead. So as I was telling you, that the risk doesn't exist in the data itself, but it exists in sort of the workflows around the data. When we talk about provisioning of data stores, when we talk about configuration of data stores in the cloud, we've seen that with the whole explosion and migration to the cloud, it is inevitable that the companies need to get a control on and handle over their data that is exploding in the cloud, which is where these companies sort of lack, and this is where Decera comes in.
Deepti, this all makes perfect good sense to me. Tell me more about the Decera Unified Platform.
Sure, Chuck. So what we do is our solution basically simply connects to any cloud infrastructure, that is service that you're using, and we break it down into six simple stages, right? So what our solution does is connects and discovers all the data stores that you have within your IS environments. Then we look at how they're configured, and we're able to detect any misconfigurations around it. Then we also are able to say who has access to these data stores, and we're able to determine some risk in terms of the privileges that you given your users access to. And also monitor how this data is actually being used by these users, right? We also do is classification of the sensitive data. So that's basically telling you where is all your sensitive data, where is it living in these data stores in the cloud, how are they configured, who has access to it, and then we basically monitor how it's being used, and we track lineage around this data. So our key differentiator is basically we're able to tell you all the risky interactions that are happening with this sensitive data and provide you with that highly sought visibility into all your data stores, no matter where it is in your data lifecycle journey. So all the way from start to finish. It's an old adage, Chuck. What you can protect, what you can see, and we basically give you that visibility across the entire data lifecycle.
Okay, so Dasera can identify risky interactions with sensitive data via queries. That's pretty cool. What's your target audience? This is really important to me because I think so often we aim for the big box companies because they're the big players, but who are you really going after in this environment?
Sure. So our target audience primarily is any data security professional. What we see is there is a lot of fragmentation today in the market between the security teams, the privacy teams, and the data teams. And they're all operating in their own bubble with like minimal sharing across these environments. So what our platform is built for is to bring in this collaboration between these teams, allowing them to have data owners, allowing them to share intelligence, allowing them to achieve the compliance and the privacy for the organization overall. This also basically helps in bringing the overall business, increasing the overall business value. You know what? The people generally think that the more you secure this data, the more you control, less people have access to it. But actually, opposite is true. The more confident you get into controlling the data environment and the data security posture, the more you can share it and the more value you can determine from it. This is basically where we want to encourage teams to come together, collaborate, and bring up the value for themselves so that they can provide value for their consumers.
Now, you won some awards in 2021. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we're actually very proud about this. We're a startup, but in a short time that we've been around, our unique approach has been awarded several industry awards, including the being named as one of the top 10 security startups in 2021 by CRN. So we're very proud of that one.
Depti, I love your energy. You speak from passion on this, and that really comes across as somebody that knows what they're talking about. Tell me where you came from. What's your background on this? Why did you join Decera?
So I've been in the security industry for a while. I used to be in the network security space, and Decera is basically the data security space. However, there are multiple triggers to why I joined Decera. A few years ago, my identity was stolen, and I sat through numerous calls and numerous, times where I had to call these credit card companies, get my, change the unwanted credit cards, shut them down, get police reports, all of them that. And that certainly drove the point home why data security was important. So when I looked at Decera had this unique approach to data security, but the key was their mission. I totally believed in Decera's mission that data security is sacred, is like the fundamental human right, which is worth fighting for. So from personal experience, I had a personal relationship as soon as I talked to the Decera folks, right? We help customers. We want to help customers safeguard the most valuable assets, that is their data and their people. And that's the company I wanted to be a part of.
Deepti, like I said a few minutes ago, love your energy, enthusiasm. You're a true believer in this, and that is super important. Give us some final words of wisdom here. How can we depart feeling better about data protection and how we can fix this problem?
Final words. I mean, there's a lot I want to leave you guys with, but let's leave you guys with a piece of trivia, right? I've always been a fan of the state of Missouri's nickname. Chuck, do you know what that is?
I should, but I don't. So tell me.
It's the show me state. And I really love that phrase because I would rather love to show you guys what the Decera can do for you than just talk about it here, right? And that's no better way than to show is to get your hands dirty. So I encourage everybody to visit our website, Dasera.com today and get a 30-day trial of our product. It's amazing. Anything you need, I'm here for you. You know what? There's a whole new world of safe, secure data that's awaiting. So get your hands dirty. Go get it.
I think you've shown me. I totally agree. I think I'm going to log in myself and take a look. This is really, really good stuff. We've been talking to Deepti Hemwani. She's the head of product at Decera, talking about disrupting data security and securing the entire cloud data lifecycle from creation to archival. Ms. Deepti, thank you so much for coming on the show, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Chuck. Glad to be here.